All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that My Hero Academia goodness. And given the state of where things are in the last, given the state of where things were in the last chapter, I'm excited to see this one. And it doesn't appear like we're going on break, so I can't wait to see what happens when Midoriya finally faces off against Shigaraki. Tomura, if you will. Not all for one inside of Shigaraki, because we basically found out that Tomura's been manipulating him all for one this whole time. Literally thought that the man thought he was grooming Tomura to be the next him. The next all for one. But Tomura wasn't dumb. And he knew that. He basically just manipulated the master manipulator into giving him a super powerful body with his own original quirk. Ain't that messed up? Well, matter of fact, you know what? It's probably best if we get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu982 here, and welcome back to yet another reading of My Hero Academia. Ain't that sad? Ain't it messed up how the person who has been manipulating people since the formation of quirks got manipulated into giving his so-called groomie an insurmountable amount of power that transcends regular quirks, and also gave this dude his original quirk, in the hopes that he would be groomed enough so that All For One could claim the body and use it to become the new Demon Lord of Japan, or Demon Lord of the world. And Tomura was just full on use a Uno reverse card on you, boy. And now he's using his own. It's like you thought you really had me, but it's not gonna go that way. So last we left off, Midoriya and Shigaraki got launch off of the fortress, the UA fortress, which is being held up by the supremely awesome gentle criminal, and they land in the city down below. So now we get to see what happens in today's chapter 3. We're getting close to 400 chapters of My Hero Academia. Well, let's get started with chapter 380, a skosh. It says a skosh, a space skosh, skosh, S-K-O-S-H. And it shows the UA fortress. And it shows the UA fortress doing its absolute best. It shows the UA Fortress starting to, push past the elasticity of Gentle's quirk, as he's doing everything with the power of lover mode to keep it from falling. Ah! My elasticity quirk has stretched its last, not to do with a lack of love, but rather my own limitations. And then La Brava,
hang in there, Gentle. Give me a minute, and I can upload the new program to keep that schoolhouse in the air.
It was nearly too swift a glimpse, but I dare say that was the boy I just saw. Does his departure point to the faith he's placed in me here? No, I suppose not. He wouldn't be aware of my participation.
And it shows Gentle using every bit of his power to hold back the UA Fortress, and he's pushing himself towards the limit to the point where blood is actually starting to erupt from his own body just a little bit.
My actions here today, no camera, no audience, earned me neither cheers nor cheers. Only the joy of being alive and present I feel within my heart.
And then as he's doing that, we see the what is it? I forget the name of the class. The social, not the social sciences. What is it? The group, the schools, the groups that specialize in, recording stuff all the time, that side of the student body, they're up there taking photos and making videos of Gentle, and he sees it.
Cameras, an audience. Do not risk your necks. Hurry yourselves inside.
That is one a villain. That one is a villain supposedly in custody, and yet the one holding up this tomb right now is without a doubt that very man.
Heed me, won't you? I'm doing my utmost, so please get inside.
Shut up! Let us film!
Ah, such passion.
I love this series. We're also doing our utmost. When Japan was falling to pieces, the nation placed the entire burden on Endeavor. That day, we should have been documenting and curating the whole saga, and it should have secured the links between heroes and society, but we couldn't! So now we film to reforge that link! This is how the business course does heroics! And remember when Hatsume said that the way the support class, this is how we do heroics. Now we get the business way back when she was describing everything that they did as the UA Fortress was floating in the air. She says, this is how the support course does it. This is how we do heroics. Now we have the business course students saying, if we don't chronologically record and take pictures of everything, then we can't really help become that link that'll link heroes to society. This is how the business course does heroics. Now we have the business course going out of their way to show off what they can do, even though we haven't seen them all that much. So now we film to reforge that link. This is how the business course does heroics. I'm glad everyone is having their moment to show this is how we all became heroes.
Incredible. To think I once sought to infiltrate this astounding educational institution.
And then it cuts to the engines turning on to the UA Fortress.
Aw, you kids are something special.
My phone has a mind of its own. It's offering an opinion. No, wait, I can't control it.
We've been hacked. Is it a villain? Since UA's electromag barrier is on the fritz, I was able to hack my way into your device.
What are you doing, Aiba? You have to save UA!
Oh wait, this is Sukauchi going,
what are you doing, Aiba? You have to save UA.
Oh, that action item's all taken care of. I'm already on the next task.
This is Labrava. Labrava!
Oh, that action item's all taken care of. I'm already on the next task. Keep filming, heroes. Imagine Gentle going to all this trouble and having nobody to see and nobody see him do it. He might have made his peace with that, but I say nah, no way.
And so Labrava's already fixed UA and has already turned the engines back on. So the control of UA is already back in the hands of UA. So the fortress safety is already assured. And she's already moving on to make sure that Gentle Criminal gets the exposure he needs. Well, we can't call him Gentle Criminal anymore. So she's basically hacked into all their phones just so the world can see Gentle. But the engines turn on, and the UA Fortress turns on completely, and then everyone's pretty much safe for the moment as far as the UA Fortress not falling down. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because there's a lot of things in these panels. But the UA Fortress engines turn on, and Gentle notices as he goes, "The load lightens! Huzzah to you, Labrava!" And then it shows, remember, there's also Twice clones that are on the UA Fortress as well. And they're all making their way across to the engine room that is powering the UA Fortress. As Twice goes, the Twice clones go, "Every last hero's gotta die!" And then it cuts to Kurogiri. Kurogiri, who's still trying to figure out who he is and what he is.
I am protector of what?
And then someone screams out, "Sensei!" As Aizawa and President Mike stand at attention. As President Mike, they're not standing at attention. They got tackled by the Twice clones. Like a sea of Twice launch and knock both Aizawa and President Mike knock them both off of the UA Fortress. And Kaminari is screaming, "No!" As Kurogiri opens up a warp gate, and both President Mike and Aizawa go through it, and they disappear. So, whoa, wait a minute. They get knocked off, but Kurogiri Kurogiri saves them? He saved our teachers. And then it cuts to Mandalay.
Or he was just removing erasure from the playing field. Nothing helps out Shigaraki more than that. Whatever the case, all we can do is have faith and fight on. For everyone's survival. For victory! For Midoriya!
As it shows Midoriya steadily clashing with Shigaraki. As that's being recorded as well. Then it cuts to the Gunga Mountain. Yo, it's all for one! It's all for one! It cuts to the Gunga Mountains.
My original scheme was for him to become me in his entirety. Melding minds with Tomura to create a new entity altogether was never in fact plan A.
Yo, so my theory of him wanting to join with Tomura was not plan A. He planned on Tomura's mind being taken over by the consciousness of All For One that was present in his original quirk. That was plan A. But since Tomura's overridden that, he's got to shift his plans again.
Melding minds with Tomura to create a new entity altogether was never in fact plan A.
As he's saying this, all the heroes are being attacked by all of these Twice clones.
Granted, Tomura's impulse for destruction eclipsed all my hopes. But that is a minor detail. Now that this body's role is done, injecting my quirk factor into Tomura will broaden my authority and put a lid on him.
Oh, that's what he's trying to do! He's trying to get to Tomura to inject his quirk factor into Tomura so that the All-For-One consciousness within his original quirk that's in Tomura has better control. This kind of reminds me of the whole Sukuna situation that's going on in Jujutsu right now. All For One doesn't have as much control over Tomura as he would like. The consciousness of All For One doesn't have as much control, but the OG All For One is heading to Tomura to inject more of his quirk factor into Tomura so that the All For One consciousness can have a better hold on Tomura.
Granted, Tomura's impulse for destruction eclipsed all my hopes, but that is a minor detail. Now that this body's role is done, injecting my quirk factor into Tomura will broaden my authority and put a lid on him. The Demon Lord's completion. Such is my tale.
You ain't reaching Shigaraki on my watch, says Hawks as he makes his way towards him. Get it? That's how our tale goes.
Our future's on the line, says Tokoyami as he sees his master fly towards All For One.
For the kid's sake. None of it is for you to chew up and spit out. To go further beyond, towards a future so bright.
The wind seems to blow my way.
As apparently Hawks gets blasted by All For One and his whole body just gets blown apart. I don't think this is Hawks though. I honestly think Hawks made like a shadow clone that's made up completely of feathers, and he just fooled All For One. Because All For One just blasts. He dodges Hawks trying to slice him, but then he blasts Hawks, and Hawks' entire body just gets blasted into pieces, but I don't think this is his real body. And then Tokoyami just looks in utter shock. And then the face turns super cute. What is this face from Tokoyami? What is his face? His face is just eyes bulging. He's drawn like a Saturday morning cartoon, just looking in utter shock at this super cutesy face that Hawks has.
Ah, the agony. I was too hasty. Oh, how I yearned for you. Totes an illusion for reals.
Yo! Yo! It's what's her face? Hold on. What is her face? What is her face? What is her face? Hold on. What is her name? What is her name? I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name. What is her name? It's your girl that can, you know, create illusions and was like the ire of the girls. Kami! That's her name. Thank you, Raul. I couldn't remember her name. But Kami. Yeah. Kami Utsushimi. Yo, she just fooled all for one. I couldn't think of her name. I could not think of her name. But Kami just straight up fooled all for one.
Totes an illusion for reals. If I'd been a skosh later...
Skosh? What the heck is a skosh? A skosh. A little bit. Oh.
If I'd have been a skosh later, you would have unalived that certified hottie I'm simping for. Not very fetch of you, no cap.
What is this dialogue? What is this dialogue from Kami? I knew she talked like this, but she like doubled down on it.
If I'd have been a skosh later, you would have unalived that certified hottie I'm simping for. Not very fetch of you, no cap.
And there's descriptions of what all these terminologies mean because I don't know what all of these means. A skosh, a little bit. Unalived, killed, simping, to have a hard crush on someone. Fetch, cool, awesome, probably. No cap, a distinct lack of a hat, who knows, honestly. So, Horikoshi's using these terminologies and he doesn't even know what it means. But it shows Hawks, who's safe in the distance, as these twice are down below. And there's someone here standing up going, as the faction receiving refugees from UA, we were designated as a probably non-aggressive defensive force. However, the refugees have yet to arrive. Since we've deduced the imminent danger and impending ruination, we took it upon ourselves to assemble Shiketsu High School's hero course and assist in battle. Yo, Shiketsu High is here to help, and we got your win boy. We got your win boy out here. He's out here whipping up all the twice. Yo, what is his name? I forgot his name. I forgot his name too. No one say anything. It's on the tip of my tongue because I know the guy. But I forget his name. What is his name? Inasa Yorashi! Yorashi's out here just whipping up the wind and whipping up all the twice. And we end the chapter with him going, listen up, pal. I'm the guy who decides which way the wind blows. Yo! So all for one hoping that the twice would distract the heroes. Yeah, that's no longer a major issue now that you got a dude that can basically use the wind to his advantage and can whip up every single twice that is there in the Gunga Mountains. But we got Shiketsu High! Yo! Shiketsu! Let's go, Shiketsu! I'm happy. Yo, I say this all the time. Every single time it seems like the villains are having such an advantage, the heroes come back with a surprise. I was not expecting Shiketsu High to come to the aid of UA. Yeah, that's not what no cap means. Look, I don't even know what it means. Is that translation accurate? I'm reading from Viz. Mind you, I feel like the description of Kami's definitions of what Kami's saying is satire, is satirical. It's not meant to be an exact one-to-one definition of what these phrases means. It's just like Horikoshi saying, like, this is what that means. Right? Like, the narration is all like, wait, what is she saying? That's how the narration is. Not that Horikoshi is, just guesstimating that's what these words mean. That's just a satirical way of describing it, because not many people understand half the stuff that Kami says. But we got, okay, let's just go over the chapter real quick here. We got La Brava fully restoring control of UA to UA, and the safety of the students who are on the UA fortress has now been resolved. They are safe from UA falling down and hurting not only them, but the people down below. We got people of the business course proclaiming that this is how we do heroics and recording all the information that's going on right now, because they didn't do it when Endeavor was in office as the #1 hero. They didn't capture any of that. They didn't capture any of those moments that were going on, but they'd be remiss if they didn't do that. And Gentle's been given a bit of a reprieve. La Brava's basically hacked into all their phones just so that the world can see just how helpful Gentle actually is. Like, Tsukuuchi was worried about, like, should you really be worrying about hacking into other people's phones? And she's all like, stop, please. I done already solved that problem. I'm moving on to something completely different. So that's happening. Then we got all the Twice that launches both, that sends both Aizawa and Present Mike careening off of the UA Fortress, but they get sucked into a warp gate by Kurogiri, 2 places unknown. Then it cuts to the ground where it just shows Midoriya from a video feed, not the actual fight, but from a video feed as he's clashing with Shigaraki in the destroyed city down below. And you can see Midoriya using all of his quirks. You see him using 100% Fajin, Black Whip, as Shigaraki is just launching at him with everything he's got. Then it cuts to the Gunga Mountains with All For One trying his best to fly over to where Tomura is to inject his quirk factor into Tomura so that his consciousness inside of Tomura will get overridden, will actually override Tomura's entire being. Because I like I said, I had the theory that All For One was trying to go back to no cap basically means stop lying, ain't lying, yeah, right. No cap means no lie. I never knew that. I heard people use that phrase all the time, but I never knew that's what that meant. I don't be on Urban Dictionary like that, because I don't want to see words that they'll take up brain space that could be used for something else. So I had no idea what that phrase meant until today. So thank you for instructing me. You're never too old to learn something new. But my original thought was All For One wanted to get to Tomura so he could assimilate into Tomura so that he can have the new perfect body, and his entire being would be he would just like combine with Tomura and they would create a new body for All For One. But apparently that wasn't even Plan A. Plan A was something completely different. Plan C and B and C was literally him going to where Tomura is to inject more of his quirk factor into Tomura so that his consciousness can fully take him over. That's the plan. Trying to get a certain word out of your head, your lifestyle, you know what word? I think I have a feeling I know what that word is. I myself don't use that word because it's like your spirit don't be sitting right with it. Yeah, I understand. Like, I myself have really never used that word at all, and like given the history of that word, I think I know what word you mean. That the history of that word, it holds no beneficial place in vocabulary. I don't care how casual people use it. It holds no it holds no actual value in vocabulary. So I understand you trying to get past that word. It'll take a minute. Yeah, but the less you say it, the less you got to worry about saying it in the future, and you won't have to worry about it being part of your vocabulary anymore. Like I said, I have a feeling I know what word it is, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think I have a feeling about I know what word you mean. But back to the story here. Granted, Tomura's impulse for destruction eclipsed all my hopes, but that is a minor detail. Now that this body's role is done, injecting my quirk factor into Tomura will broaden my authority and put a lid on him. So apparently, that word too, but the other word, it's a noun word. Well, oh, okay, I see. Okay, I see. I'm not going to try and figure it out then. Best of luck to you. I'm not going to pry any further. That's your business. But can we talk about how Bakugo's still dead? Well, he's not dead. He's in surgery right now. I find it odd that we still haven't cut back to him after so long, though. It's been a minute. It's been like several chapters since the last we saw Bakugo be intended to by Edgeshot. It's been a minute since we last cut back to Bakugo. It feels like forever since we last saw him. But going on now, it looks... you got Camie coming in, fooling All For One. Literally fooling All For One. And she fooled me too, because I thought, like, there's no way that Hawks is just dead from a wind blast from All For One and his body got blown apart. There ain't no way. But the fact that this turned out to be like a cutesy illusion that shocks even All For One himself, it just shows you that he really hasn't accounted for everyone. Mind you, when you think about it, he's only really made plans and planned around people from UA and UA's vicinity. He's never really reached as far as Shiketsu. When you think about it, all the people he's had trying to work with him has had some connection to UA or in the region where UA was, but it never went as far as Shiketsu. So, when it comes to dealing with people, I wouldn't say he doesn't have any plans for dealing with people from Shiketsu, but the fact that he got blindsided by an illusion-based quirk, and he was so sure that he was so sure that he won, and he beat Hawks, and how unprepared he was for Shiketsu, I feel like he focused on UA too much. He focused on UA too much because he would have known about this type of quirk. He would have known about this type of quirk and would have been prepared for it, but he wasn't. Sure, it reminds me that ain't a wind blast. It's like the quirk from Two Heroes. Is it not a wind blast? Oh wait, is that the quirk where he can send out slices of air? Is that the quirk where you can send? Yeah, I think that's the quirk where you can send out slices of air, like slices of air to slice apart his opponents. I think that's what he did here. I think that's what he did here. It's not specifically shown exactly what he did. Like, you see Hawk's body being contorted around. You see his body being contorted around. The one that can cut something out of something. Like where he got spheres of eyes from Todoroki. I don't know what that quirk is. I still haven't watched Two Heroes, so I gotta watch my Hero movies. But he gets fooled by Camie's illusion quirk, and then she just goes off with Urban Dictionary dialogue, and it shows that the person that grabbed onto Hawks is the same dude that is able to, jellify and fleshify his own body, but also pieces of people as well. And then we got Inasa just coming in, floating in the air, whipping up entire whirlwinds, entire ginormous slipstreams that is just pulling all of the Twice clones just straight into the air, just getting whipped around like a wind-filled roller coaster. With him ending the chapter saying, "Listen up, pal, I'm the guy who decides which way the wind blows, since, he has a wind-based quirk." And that's where the chapter ends. Like I said before, it's just called slang. I know what it is, Roll. I know what it is. Where's the class rep and the hair guy? Unaccounted for at the moment. Also, how strong Todoroki became, how strong will Inasa be? We don't know, because we never really cut to Shiketsu High all that often. We never really cut to Shiketsu to see how strong they've become, but they always pop up at the most unpredictable of times. With Shiketsu here, who knows how many people are here? Because I know it's not I know it's not just Inasa, Kami, and the other guy, whose name is Seiji. Yeah, I know it's not just Inasa, Seiji, and Kami, because we got Nagamasa, who's the hair dude. Nagamasa is the hair guy, but I don't see him in this chapter. Maybe he'll pop up in the next one, because we're not going on break with this one. We're not going on break. They did say they wanted joint training, but yeah, things happened. But this was a pretty good chapter. The fact that we had All For One get fooled by illusion from Kami. We got a lot of good moments in here, but another concern is where Aizawa and President Mike have gone. Because if you notice, Kurogiri was saying, like, I'm a protector of what? So he fully doesn't know what he's a protector of at the moment. So the mind of Shirakumo and Kurogiri are currently going at odds where he can't put two and two together right now. He can't get like a thought in edgewise. And at the moment, the best people to be around Kurogiri are the people who used to be friends with the body of what Kurogiri used to be, who was Shirakumo. So we could have a whole small stint where Aizawa and President Mike are trying to get their friend back, since only Aizawa and President Mike went through the gate before the Twices got grabbed onto him. Or I feel like some Twice clones got grabbed and went through the portal with them, but not a ton. So that's going on. We got Midoriya still going up against Shigaraki. We got the Shiketsu High students who are there lending the heroes a hand all the way in the Gunga Mountains, which was the massive help that they needed. Now, mind you, they're there, but Dabi's also there as well. So, gotta be careful with that wind, because fire mixed with wind in a giant forest mountain range, it could make things complicated. So that's going on. And we still got Himiko Toga, who's hidden as a Twice clone throughout this entire mess, with Asui and Uraraka trying to contend with her as well. There's a lot of things still going on, but I feel like this is still going at a relatively good pace, given everything that's happening right now. So we just gotta wait until next week to see where the story ends up. This is not as long as my One Piece reaction, but we had a lot of good things happening here. Todoroki and Inasa would do the fire tornado again, at least I think. I don't know. But the Shiketsu High students is the backup that they really did need. Because you got a lot of powerful quirk users on that team, especially Inasa. Because if we go over to Inasa's quirk, he has, like, the dude, he was a top recommended student for UA High School before withdrawing his application. Also, this dude is ridiculously tall. He's 6'3". He's 2 inches taller than my dad, who's 6'1". And I'm 5'8", so you know he already towers over me. But if we go over to his quirk, which is Whirlwind, grants them the ability to freely manipulate the air around him over a very wide area, can create incredible gusts of wind, and has extremely precise control over them, being able to delicately handle people while clearing away rubble using various different types of winds. Able to use whirlwinds for offensive purposes, he can attack his enemies and blow them away with gusts powerful enough to break apart solid ice. He can also use the wind to increase his own mobility, and with aid from his costume, he's even able to fly. And with his stats all read A minus, A plus, D when it comes to wits, but when it comes to his vocal volume, that's S rank. So with his quirk, which has an incredibly long and wide range, he's going to be indispensable. Initially, Inasa's whirlwind clashed with Shoto's half-cold, half-hot quirk because the latter's heat would compromise airflow. However, once Inasa and Shoto began working together, they became capable of combining their quirks to achieve different feats, such as a spiraling flame tornado or a playground made of ice. So, if Shoto was scored like 100 points alone on the design, but why did they take that long? My man's is like airbending powered up avatar. Yep, that tornado. Yeah, I see what you mean, Roll. It remains to be seen just how effective he's going to be in this fight, but I feel like he's honestly going to be incredibly effective given the fact that he and Shoto synergize so much with their quirks. And if they pair up, here's the thing. The panel shows a bunch of Twice clones being lifted up with these slipstreams. All Shoto would have to do is get to Inasa and freeze these slipstreams, and you have entire slipstreams with these Twice clones attached to them. That's all it would take. So many ideas of how well this could really work out. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you for your continued support of this channel. We grow ever closer to 4,000 subscribers. May not seem like a whole lot to a lot of people, but it means a lot to me because it means that this channel continues to prosper. And I just want to thank you with all your support that you guys have shown me. Just freeze the fire all over them like Roy Mustang. Inasa would be the air control. That could work. I mean, with Shoto's quirk, he really does synergize well with Inasa's wind quirk. He could use his cold side to work with the wind to become freezing winds, or he could work with the heat side to make it turn into a fire tornado that takes out all the other Twice clones. You can go either way. But to everyone here, it has been an immense pleasure and honor to be your entertainer for today. I'm going to take a break after this and just rest up before I continue with Hogwarts Legacy tomorrow. So to everyone here, all I can say at the end of the day is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples.